going to tell a little story. And it's mostly about why I choose to not get shot with the stupid vaccine. It has nothing to do with the reasons that have been given. And more along the reason, the same reason I had freshman year in college. So, now we have all this thing called forced immunizations. Okay, some of them are quite necessary, some of them aren't, like when they miss them. Now, we have this thing called an MMR series, or a measles, mumps, and rubella. Okay, most of us get this series of shots when we're children. Okay, and some were entering before some grade in school. I forgot what it was. This is all freshman year in college, and this is like 20 years ago now. So it was all told to me then. I don't feel like relooking it up now. But basically, long story short is most people by the age of 18 have had their second series of MMR, because some of them, as we're now learning, are done in series to actually give a true inoculation from that disease. Okay. Now, we have a time now where we enter college, and they check your records again. They find out from your grade school transcripts, or medical transcripts and records, because that's who actually contacted me, was the health department in the college I was entering. So, I got a call, hey, we need you to come into the health department office and visit your physical. It looks like you haven't done your second series of MMR. I'm like, it's no big deal. I'm like 18 the time I go down to the school. They do my physical. The nurse pulls out a needle. She gives me my shot. I ask her at this time, is there any adverse effects? Because at the time I'm actually a pre-med student. So this is kind of like my thing in biology, and I want to know what could possibly happen. Because up to this current point in time, I haven't had another shot again. I don't really believe in them at this current point in time. I go, no. So, now, this is the horrible part. 2 days later, no, it wasn't even it was like 2 days later, I wake up and I've got this large border on my neck the size of a grapefruit. And I mean the size of a grapefruit. Literally. So I'm like, oh crap. I show my grandmother. My grandmother's an RN. She, of course, immediately goes, you need to go to the hospital. So at the time, I lived by a hospital called Millard Fillmore in Buffalo, and I walked to the hospital. And they literally immediately admit me. No, he didn't immediately admit me. He basically takes a needle. The doctor first, because when I walked in, I wasn't sitting there for more than 10 or 15 minutes. He went and got a syringe. He thought that he could drain the material in, which is pus, and normally it's from an infection. And basically he sticks the needle in, and he pulls out, and I mean, it's a big needle. It's probably, now I realize it's a 100cc needle. So this needle is 4 or 5 inches, and probably 2 inches in diameter. Because 100 cc's is a lot of material. And this gourder is the size of a grapefruit. So he basically gets the biggest needle he can get, and he sticks it in there, and it's not a big needle gauge. It just goes in the hole. I don't really feel anything. And he pulled it out, and I can watch it come out. I'm watching this yellow pus come out of my neck into his syringe. So I'm like, oh, what the hell is that? Tells me that there's an infection and yada yada. We're going to admit you for surgery. I'm like, okay. So about an hour later, I'm upstairs. The next day, no, it was 2 days later, because the first day you're not allowed to eat or whatever. All I know is it's evening then. The next day I had to wait because I'd eaten already. And then the morning after that, I was taken to surgery and they drained the drainage. 3 days later, I was let go and sent home. In the ER immediately, the first thing I asked was this caused by my MMR that I had like 2 days ago? And everyone's saying no. Now, like, it's kind of obvious what took place. There's no need for me to question it now further. I've been 20 years past this, and I know for a fact that MMR caused a reaction and gave me the fucking mumps. You're giving me measles, mumps, and rubella. Mumps is the only thing that's got big orders, and nobody want to say nothing. But okay, they're saying it's not the mumps. So there's a subcutaneous infection, which is what that is. Subcutaneous being beneath the skin. Infection is all that freaking pus. But that's more of a lie. It's still caused by something. whole thing that medicine does and want to admit. So until they can tell me what all this stuff is caused by, y'all ain't sticking me with nothing else. This is my personal opinion, and this is the way it's been for probably 20 years now. I don't see the need of you lying to me and telling me that there are no reactions in vaccines. If, for instance, that the MMR causes a reaction in less than 1 in a million people, supposedly. Well, shit, I'm obviously one of them.